WMBF News, live, local, now.
Live, local, now. This is WMBF News, first at 4.
First on WMBF News at 4, a group of divers stranded off the Myrtle Beach coast now back home. Samuel Shelton joins us live. New details on the rescue effort that brought them to safety. Plus, police say they are seeing an increase in the number of pedestrians getting hit by cars. What officers believe is the driving force behind this troubling trend. Good afternoon to you. I'm Eric Weisfeld. Erica Edwards is off today. We're glad you're with us. Scorching summer day out there as we give you a live look right now from the top of our WMBF News studio just off Highway 17. Good news, relief on the way with the return of rain chances as we head into tomorrow. I'm joined now by certified most accurate meteorologist Robert Langers. That heat is definitely still here today, though.
Oh, yeah, and tomorrow, too, if you don't see the rain, it's another round of heat index of 110, 115. Yeah, tomorrow is definitely hot, but a few more showers, so at least some of us getting some relief, which is an improvement over today, which has been very little relief. Temperatures right now, yeah, a little cooler than earlier. The heat index, only 110. It was 117 earlier along the Grand Strand. It doesn't get much hotter than that around here, and the reason the heat index has been so high is the dew points, the amount of moisture in the air, very high in the low 80s. Again, those numbers don't go much higher. High humidity, high temperatures makes it feel a whole lot hotter. Not a lot of rain out there today. There's been a couple showers along the sea breeze, but most spots from Conway back to the Grand Strand dry, but a couple showers, one in Loris, a few in the Britten's Neck area there in Marion County, just a couple. We'll see a few more, though, as we head through tomorrow. And again, that at least provides some relief. Future radar showing a mainly dry forecast through tomorrow morning. And then as we head through the afternoon and evening, we start to bring some showers and even a couple storms in. This will be the beginning of a drop in temperatures this week. I'll have a look at that relief coming up.
First at 4, a reunion worth celebrating. 4 divers now back with their families after spending more than 12 hours in the water. WMBF Samuel Shelton spoke with the U.S. Coast Guard about the hours-long search off the Myrtle Beach coast. And Samuel, this rescue wouldn't have been possible without a special light. What else did you learn?
That's right, Eric. A lot of people were involved when this search for the divers, and I'm told that if it wasn't for the U.S. Coast Guard's spotting a light from one of the divers, this rescue may not have happened. Now, U.S. Coast Guard Petty Officer Jonathan Lally says Coast Guard reunited the 4 men ages 16 to 64 with friends and family a little after 6 this morning in Oak Island, North Carolina. It was a long night, though, before that reunion. While Lally said he doesn't know when the divers went out, he says they were scheduled for a 45-minute dive on Sunday, 60 miles east of Myrtle Beach. The Coast Guard learned the divers didn't resurface around noon on Sunday. The search lasts the rest of the day and into this morning. Now, several different agencies from the Coast Guard stations used boats and aircrafts to the search. Around 12:45 this morning, North Carolina Coast Guard members spotted one of the divers' strobe lights and then located all 4 injured divers. Now, once spotted, that crew launched the life raft and helped get the divers back on board. And Lally says it's all teamwork that made everything possible.
Anytime that the Coast Guard goes out for search and rescue, it's always our hope that we can bring them back home and reunite them with friends and family. And this case highlights that aspect, that in this case, we actually were able to bring them back, reunite them safe and sound. And the fact that they had the signaling device to signal our air crews and our rescue crews made this outcome what it is today.
Now, the divers and their families are not yet ready to speak on camera, but Lally says he's glad that divers are all safe and sound. Live in Myrtle Beach, Samuel Shelton, WMBF News.
In North Myrtle Beach now, police say they're seeing a spike not only in pedestrians getting hit by drivers, but also hit and runs. One recent incident sent a 17-year-old to the hospital after he was hit by a suspected drunk driver. Authorities say 48-year-old Robert Buencati hit the teen near the area of Duffy Street and 24th Avenue North in Cherry Grove. The out-of-state driver now out on bond after police arrested him for driving under the influence and trying to leave the scene. Police spokesperson Patrick Wilkinson says they are only seeing more cases like this.
Any kind of vehicle versus pedestrian or is normally found around the crosswalk areas. So that can come from a couple of things. One, just drivers not being really attentive of somebody that's in the crosswalk, or 2, you could also have the impairment factor, somebody that's under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or a combination of both.
WMBF News reporter Ali Espinosa had the chance to speak with Officer Wilkinson today. She's going to join us live with a closer look at the numbers beginning at 5 right here on WMBF News. In your Crime Watch this afternoon, police in Conway asking for your help finding the woman right there on your screen. Authorities say Casey Dermerit is suspected to be in possession of a stolen vehicle. Dermerit stands 5'1", weighs about 125 pounds. Last seen at Conway Medical Center. If you have any idea where she could be, call police. That number's at the bottom of your screen, 843-248-1790. The suspect accused of shooting 5 people in South Carolina earlier this year was a high school student at the time. The Isle of Palms Police Department says Davion Singleton was attending Somerville High School this past April when he allegedly stole a car on senior skip day and fired a 9mm handgun at the beach. Singleton now faces a number of charges, including 5 counts of attempted murder. You can hear more from today's news conference coming up tonight on WMBF News at 5. The death toll in Hawaii currently stands at 96. It is expected to keep rising. Extra search crews and additional cadaver dogs are combing through devastated, burned areas today, recovering any remains they find. That heart-wrenching mission is being conducted against the backdrop of expanding concerns that public warning systems weren't enough, and a lawsuit related to the potential cause of the fires that's been filed. Here's Gloria Pazmino.
I'm completely heartbroken over this.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who has strong family ties to Hawaii, echoing a sentiment shared by many.
Hope is really the most important thing that we need, and to be sensitive to those who have lost everything.
But hope is a high bar for many fire survivors, especially those with missing loved ones, watching as rescue and recovery teams sift through the ashes while remnants of the fires still burn.
Every day going back to help clean up and help put spot fires out, or it still seems like a nightmare that we're trying to wake up from.
Also rumors that the tragedy is becoming a morbid spectacle.
I heard there was a snorkeling boat looking at Lahaina town. Give them respect. People died here. Oh no!
Questions are growing over the outdoor warning sirens used for hurricanes and tsunamis, which were left silent as wildfires swept through.
The Attorney General has launched a review of what happened with those sirens and some of the other actions that were taken.
Some survivors were sent texts to phones without service. In the chaos of fleeing,
trees were falling and branches were starting on fire, power lines were falling down.
Those power lines the focus of a new class action suit filed against Hawaiian Electric, claiming the company failed to cut power as toppled energized lines ignited wildfires. Hawaiian Electric says it will cooperate with the review into exactly what happened. In Maui, I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
If you're looking to help out those devastated by those wildfires, the Better Business Bureau of the Eastern Carolinas has shared some tips you should keep in mind. First, give money rather than goods. Cold hard cash, the quickest way to help charities direct resources where they're needed most. Also, be wary of claims that 100% of your donation is going to victims. While a charity may be using other funds to cover their expenses, that doesn't mean those costs don't exist. Finally, be careful when you're making donations online. Scammers like to use disasters like these to send out suspicious links. Make sure you're giving through official channels. Tonight on Nightly News, we're going to take you inside the burn zone in Maui. The main highway to Lahaina is closed now, so with permission to enter, NBC News took the cliffside drive to reach some of the hardest hit areas. That's where Miguel Almaguer shows us the charred debris and now the race to protect what's left as tropical weather is spinning closer to Hawaii.
You know, we have a storm coming that's going to bring rain, which that the irony in that is odd. But, you know, there's like tarps and furring strips and nails and construction supplies that are necessary to start sealing in the homes that are still standing but may have lost siding or roof shingles, because we don't want to lose that house now to water damage.
The questions of accountability, the growing anger over the response and preparedness in Maui, all coming up tonight, right after WMBF News at 6 o'clock. And next for you at 4, we're going to give you the first alert to increasing rain chances as we head through the next few days. Robert's back in just 3 minutes. Everything you need to know in his full forecast. Plus, it can be a silent killer, and it strikes young people in the prime of their lives. What happened to this young lady and how she survived? That's also next at 4. Here's a look at some of the top stories you're reading right now on WMBFnews.com. The Horry County Police Department mourning the loss of a beloved canine officer often seen at the Myrtle Beach International Airport. Deputies in Georgetown County say a 31-year-old woman who was reported missing has now been found safe. And town leaders in Surfside Beach announcing plans to hold a soft opening for their new pier. That's later this year. Take a closer look at these and our